Great, thank you.
Testing.
Let's try again.
And make host. All right, you're in charge.
Okay, I'm taking it. All right, just give me one moment. Can you all see a presentation there?
It says you've started screen sharing, but we don't. Okay, here we go. Yep, see it now. Yes.
There we go. How about that? Oh, that's not going to work. Hold on. There we go. That looks a little better. Okay. Well, thanks again for having me. My name is Brianna Orr, and presenting on behalf of our PBOT team for the Southwest Jefferson project. And you might recognize me. I've been in a couple of Goose Hollow Foothills League meetings over the past few years about this project. So really appreciate the input that y'all have provided so far, and inviting me back just to give an update. And as Tiffany mentioned, this project was slated for construction in 2022. We just had such a wild year last year. Contractors were doing so much work, and we couldn't get somebody who had availability to deliver this project in 22. So we are back at it in 23. While I'm here, I thought I'd give you an update kind of on the overall Central City in Motion construction. Starting with Jefferson, as I mentioned, we're looking at spring 2023 for delivery. This includes a bus lane, improved bike lane, and pedestrian crossing. I'm just going to mouse over where we are here, and then going on to 4th, a really exciting project starting this year, reconstruction of the street and paving, new protected bikeway and bus lane, new traffic signals and streetlight upgrades. So that one's going to start this year and will continue in 2024. And then connected to it, a little segment of West Burnside also will be delivered here in the spring. And that project just extends the current bus lane on Burnside west to 8th Avenue. And then on the flip side of Burnside, already under construction on the east side, we have a bus lane going in from the bridge to 12th Avenue. And then all these little blue dots you see on the east side here, those are the part of the east side circulation access, Central East Side Access and Circulation Project. That one's starting this year, continuing next year. And those are new traffic signals, ADA curb ramps, and some circulation changes with that project. Last but not least, we have a little bit of the Hawthorne Viaduct here in blue that is extending the bus lane currently along Southeast Hawthorne to the viaduct. That one's going to actually be delivered by our friends at Multnomah County. They have an overlay project, so that's just a striping project they're delivering with it. And then underneath all the blue lines, which are the upcoming construction projects, I've just shown the things that we have delivered in green over the past few years. And so these are all part of the Central City in Motion plan, which was adopted by City Council in 2018. And so it identified about 18 projects for delivery. And you see that we're making some progress. We still have a ways to go, but it's been really exciting to get to work on these things. So zooming in on Southwest Jefferson, the project goals for this were to improve transit speed and reliability. And I've noted the bus lines that are currently served on Southwest Jefferson, with just a note that TriMet I saw is proposing to discontinue one of those lines as part of their service changes. So happy to connect folks with TriMet if you want to learn more about that, but that's as much as I know. And our second goal was to improve bicycling comfort and safety. And again, as you know, the bike lane currently is in the parked car door zone. So just kind of a precarious design. And it also requires people biking to mix with vehicle traffic approaching 18th Avenue. So we sought to improve both of those things with this project. And here is where we are with the final design. So I'm going to start us with the bus at 16th Avenue. And this main street is Southwest Jefferson. So the project is creating a new bus and turn lane. So you've probably seen these around town, but it essentially allows access for both the bus and for people that are wanting to take a turn at the next intersection. So for this example, it's folks that want to take a left turn onto 17th. The bus now running on the left is going to serve this new transit island and bus stop. And just to the right of the bus lane, we have 2 vehicle travel lanes. So those are just folks that are continuing through. And we have a new protected bike lane along the north side of the street on the curb there. We also have 1 new ADA ramp that will get improved on the northeast corner. And moving along to the other side of the street, relocating a bike town station currently about here. And this is feedback that we actually got, I think, from either this group or an HOA meeting that I was attending last year. So was able to incorporate some feedback on that station placement, which is great. And on this, approaching 18th and Collins Circle, maintaining that right turn lane, we got 1 vehicle through lane, and then we have 1 left turn lane, which is where most of the buses will be headed. And then, along with this, there are some parking changes. So parking on the north and south side between 16th and 17th are removed. A couple of spots here on the north side of Jefferson at 17th getting removed, as well as a couple spots on the south side, able to preserve most of this parking on the south side, that angled parking. So that will be maintained there.
Brianna, I'm taking notes. Could you just tell exactly how many parking spots were removed?
Ooh, I didn't tally before this meeting, but I can provide you with an exact number after this meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm sure that question will be asked of you, especially for the residents.
Yeah. And I know I have it, so I apologize I didn't have it ahead of time. So I have just two more slides, and I'll hand it off to y'all for questions. The construction schedule, just overall, we'll do some more notification in April. So like I said, we had planned to do this in 2022. So I know folks probably have it off their radar. So we'll remind folks about this project. In May, construction will begin, and construction should just last 2 months, pretty quick. And just diving in a little bit more to the details of what I typically do for construction notifications. So we do mailers, we send out a traffic advisory and e-news updates. We also have a quarterly meeting with our advisory body called the Central City in Motion Working Group. And I'll do project website updates leading up to construction and then throughout construction as well. And then just noting the past notification and engagement that we've done. So again, appreciate your all's willingness to host me over multiple years about this project. And then last year, we also did some door-to-door engagement to property owners and business owners. And so I had an opportunity to chat with folks one-on-one about the project a lot. So I think, yeah, that's my last slide. So contact information is here, my project website. And if you're not already subscribed to our e-news, like construction updates, that's a really great way to keep in touch with what's going on. I'll typically send, at least something before construction and then partway through construction, then after it's done. But I also will update the website at least every other week, just letting folks know what's coming up. So that's what I had to share. And I know it was a lot I threw at you. So I had offered like 10 minutes for questions. So happy to take questions.
All right, Brianna, we'll go ahead and ask Douglas Cook here, if you can see him on the screen.
Hi. The island, the transit island, what is the use of that going to be? It won't be just a piece of cement. Is that what I don't know what it is.
Sure, yes. The primary use for it, it's similar to what you might see at streetcar stops, where the streetcar is stopping in the middle of the street. It allows the bus to be running on the left side. So we need the transit island in order for their doors to be opening on the right side and for people to be able to load on a curb instead of from the street. So that's the primary goal. It also serves the secondary goal of kind of as a median refuge island. So folks that are crossing the street, it actually makes that street crossing safer for pedestrians. So a bonus.
I see well, buses get off on so we're gonna drop people off on the island on the right-hand side.
Yes.
And what are the controls to get them off there?
Sorry, it's a little staticky. Can you say that one more time?
How are we gonna, okay, they're gonna get off the bus there. That's a bus stop apparently.
Yes.
On that, I'm talking about the left-hand lane, whereas the right-hand, yeah. Okay, that's a bus stop. How are we gonna get them? Is there gonna be controls for the crosswalk and everything? So
yes, yeah, I hear you there. So just in terms of directing pedestrian traffic, we are going to have a handrail along this side to separate people driving from pedestrians, as well as just to encourage people to go to the crosswalk to cross the street. We don't have any stop control here and don't necessarily need just given the speed limit and that, there's currently a striped crosswalk here today. So having this island here actually shortens the distance that people need to cross. So we don't have any concerns about pedestrians being able to cross the street.
Well, if they step off the island and then they're in the middle of the crosswalk, that's what I'm trying to figure out, how they turn right or left. Okay, fine. We'll have to see what the amenities are on there. I've never seen that in the city where somebody gets off a cement island onto a crosswalk like that. No.
Yeah, it's, I think if we had a little bit more space and we weren't right up against the intersection, oftentimes we would put, a second little island, like we call them a concrete nose, which would kind of sandwich the crosswalk, if you will. But, our engineers design this and feel comfortable with how it will work. And it meets our ADA requirements in terms of accessibility.
So we'll just, we'll just see what it comes out to. The next question, you mentioned speed limits. Jefferson's a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. It's pretty fast. Are we ever going to do any adjustments on that?
I don't have any planned with this project, but I can check in on any other efforts that there might be to lower the speed limit along Jefferson.
Yeah, because they both Columbia and this is a sideline issue. Both Columbia and Jefferson turn into racetracks.
I was going to say, just to piggyback on that, it's really a liability and it's a safety issue. If we're going to have an island where there's going to be pedestrians and there's already a school there, and those two streets that run parallel, the cars are just whizzing. I mean, they are speeding. We need speed bumps, especially if you're going to have more pedestrian traffic. And all the buses stopping on Columbia as well. They all line up. People are getting out. Someone is going to get hurt. And so I hope that just as you're planning this long term, both Columbia and Jefferson, I know you can't control the speed and you're saying there's a speed limit. Someone someday is going to get hurt. And since this is on the record, I do want it on the record that we have brought this up, that the speed on Columbia and Jefferson with transit is an issue.
Great. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, we take speed super seriously at PBOT. So I just didn't have, it wasn't part of this project to lower the speed limit. However, we also have lots of great folks who work on lowering speed limits across the city.
Well, it might not be lowering the speed limit. It's accountability. It could be speed bumps. Simple things like speed bumps on Columbia and Jefferson might make an impact. There's currently none.
I see. So you're saying some additional infrastructure that would calm traffic.
Yeah, because the speed limit's listed, but I have never seen anyone go 25.
But they don't stay 25, they go 35 and 40.
Flashing lights or something for pedestrians. heavy,
Something that's gonna happen.
heavy pedestrian area. Hey, Brianna, did you have a question first? Anybody else?
Was that your question, or-
That was my question.
Is there,
All right, we have one chat and one iPhone, so we'll take the iPhone hand raised first.
Yeah, so just a quick question. It looks like two questions. The bus only lane that is from 17th to 18th, it looks like that's not only bus only, but it's also turn. So you could cut over either to park, or you could cut over so then you could get in the turn only lane. I assume that still would take you around the roundabout. Is that how that would work? Because it's a one lane coming down on 18th there, not two lanes.
That's right. Yeah, that left turn lane will take you around the roundabout.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And would it in any way, would it change if you are on 18th and you're coming and approaching Jefferson? Today it says no turns there, but it's fairly logical that you would want to turn left and head out up Jefferson. Right now it says no turns. Will that still be the case, or would a left turn from 18th onto Jefferson be allowed?
On 18th to Jefferson?
Yeah, you're on 18th. Right now, when you come down 18th around the roundabout, you can only turn. You can't turn at all. You can't turn to the right because that's a one-way street.
Yeah.
You can't turn to the left going up Jefferson to get onto 26. You're only allowed to go straight there.
So the turn capabilities on 18 will stay the same.
Okay.
Go ahead and mute someone who's, can we have people mute themselves if they're not speaking, please? Is that Bob, maybe? Please go heat one up.
And Bob, if you have a question, let us know, but otherwise you're unmuted right now. We can hear the conversation. I don't have host ability right now, so.
Brianna, are you able to mute everybody?
I can do that.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Bob, if you do have a comment, just raise your hand and we'll call you. It sounded like you're just unmuted for. And then we have a chat question. Is the bus going from the bus only lane into the red bus only lane past that, or from the middle lane into the red bus only lane?
Great question. The bus is going to continue straight through the intersection towards that red. So yeah, they're going to stay in that left lane. I think that one of the bus lines, and it's escaping me which one, will be using the through lanes, but the majority of the buses will be using that left lane throughout.
And right now on that 18th turnabout, are there currently two lanes on Jefferson that go straight, or is it currently one as well?
Today's condition?
Yeah, because right now it looks like Jefferson, when it comes to the 18th circle, a roundabout, there's an only turn to, and in the plans, only a turn to the right and a turn to the left, and then only one lane that goes straight.
Today, I think we just have one lane that goes to the right and one lane that is a turn, a straight through and left turn combined. So we're actually essentially adding a lane here.
Because right now I think there's two lanes that can go past the circle, right?
There's the bus parking lane, and as you go around, you're supposed to stop and yield and stay on the left. You're not supposed to use the bus lane.
Okay. So there's only one.
But Jefferson itself has two lanes. It's a confusion there, and I think I mentioned it. That turnabout, there's a bus stop there.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
It's not clear, I don't think. Yes, it looks like you don't want to get in the right lane. That's what, as you go around the circle. Because there's bus stops there and the buses are pulling out. And maybe it's just my prejudice of not wanting to get around the buses. So I stay in the left lane. Okay. And that left lane yields, you have to stop for the oncoming traffic.
Oh, so you have that bike lane in the middle and then the bus turn lane on the right side, and there's only one lane that goes in the left. Okay.
Brianna, I've got two questions for you. In regards to the map that you just had up, it might be just me, but is there any way to flip the map for future, or when you go to put this marketing out there, because naturally, like when I'm looking at it, I want to be able to look at the one way this way and not have to crane my neck to look downwards to figure out how it'll impact our neighborhood. Like, if you all look in the same way, we're all kind of like this, trying to figure out how it works. But if you're looking at marketing, that
I hear you.
so this way, so I can actually just look at it.
Yeah,
Not try to
I can
try-
add a different type of view.
like the other way.
I don't think I can change this at this point, but I can definitely add another view to help explain what it should
I
be.
feel
And
like that.
for
I feel like-
future, I
Yeah,
appreciate that feedback. So, it's always a challenge to try to communicate what's going on.
I feel like in that map, 17th Avenue is what's really getting the attention, and it's not what we should be looking at. It really is Jefferson, and it should be in the direction of the one way, so I could look at how the parking spots and I don't know, you guys feel the same way we were looking at it? Just like that. Yeah, and then number 2 is in terms of, and I brought this up to you when you did, we connected over this kind of development in the neighborhood. There's like 6 or 7 other projects that are going on construction wise. And what I experienced last fall during our street festival was a collision course of construction and the impacts it had on the neighborhood, where we all literally had to get together and figure out who was going to do what. And that was Lincoln High School. That was the just demolition of the Oregonian building and other construction sites. And then also street closures from the Timber Stadium for their event. And so what happened was it was a hardship, trying to get around the neighborhood. So when this project comes into fruition, April, May, and June, have you figured out what other development projects will be impeding at the same time? Because if we have the Oregonian popping off as well as the 6 other areas, what streets will we be able to actually use to get in and out of Goose Hollow?
Yeah, I have connected with our colleagues who manage right-of-way overall at PBOT, and they're the ones that issue permits to both developers as well as contractors like ours who will be doing street improvements in the right-of-way. So I'm going to stay connected to them in terms of when we get details about exactly when we're going to start and time of day of construction and all that. And they are so great at helping us keep coordinated on those things. But yeah, I've highlighted that issue, which you brought to me, Tiffany, when we spoke to our construction manager, just to give our contractor a heads up that that's going to be a particularly important part of this project.
Favor to ask, since you'll come back to me with how many parking spaces have been removed based on this new construction, but also to, when we do come time April, let me know exactly which developmental which construction sites, so we can really do some great education with our residents on how to avoid these areas and how to get in and out. Because like I said, we did have a collision course. It happens sometimes, right? Because people also get their permit. And the Oregonian site was the prime example. Oh, we finally got it after how many years? And then it was like, it became such a nightmare in the neighborhood. So, and at the end of the day, the residents live here, and we don't want to inconvenience them to the point where they can't stand coming and going. And so I think that education is huge. So for the month of February, March would be great at our next meeting, where we can talk about the removal of the parking spaces, but also to the construction that's going on. And is that fair to ask for that to back, so we know exactly what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly share an update from our colleagues around right of way and what they know of development that will be happening at the same time. So yeah, I can definitely share at least those details.
Oh, and by the way, the other collision course was they were demolishing the other part of Lincoln at the same time too. So we were all like, all spatially right there. Do you remember that? It was really a lot. It was a lot. So thank you. And that was the last of my questions. If anybody else has any other questions. I'm just looking online right now. No other chats, features here. Okay, great. And then Brianna, thank you for sticking with us. If you do have to drop off, we totally understand, but you'll probably stick with us for the second part of the TriMet presentation. Is that correct?
I thought I'd listen to the TriMet presentation. Yeah, just because it sounds really relevant to our work. So I will hand it back to you though, if I can remind myself how to do that.
Fantastic. Okay, so is Vadim, am I the next guest speaker then for the TriMet piece? Okay, and then can you, since I don't have share screen capabilities, could we bring up the TriMet presentation? This TriMet presentation's, I think a handful of slides, like I think 8, but it's from Andrew Wilson, who's the Chief Public Safety Officer for TriMet, the high up. And the reason why I reached out to Andrew Wilson, because I'm the president of PSAC, which is Public Safety Action Coalition, and what spurred my interest in wanting to know more about what public safety plans are for 2023 for TriMet is because sadly, Portland in the news has hit some sad situations where riders or people near max platforms had got really injured or killed. And a couple of the most recent ones were a person over on a max line station had their face chewed off.
And ear.
Ear, yes. And then another one, another rider over by the Gateway area, a mother and 4-year-old child were at a platform, and then the child was incidentally shoved into the max line tracks.